Have you ever walked into a Dutch office and felt like you entered a completely different world? Not because the work itself is impossible, not because you are not qualified, but because the way people behave, speak, meet, give feedback, and even eat lunch feels different from what you are used to. You may notice that meetings feel more structured. People come straight to the point. Feedback can sound very blunt. Colleagues may be polite, but not immediately warm. Lunch may be quick, simple, and surprisingly unserious compared with what you may think of as a proper midday meal. And if you are Nigerian, some of these things can feel small at first, but over time, they can affect how comfortable, confident, and effective you feel at work. Dutch workplace guides consistently describe Dutch offices as direct, punctual, agenda-driven, relatively egalitarian, consensus-oriented, and protective of work-life balance, including the practical detail that many employees bring homemade sandwiches and take a short half-hour lunch break. So in this video, I want to break down the 5 biggest differences between Dutch and Nigerian work culture, and more importantly, what these differences mean for you in real life. Because once you understand them, you stop feeling like you are constantly getting it wrong. You start seeing the system more clearly, and when you can see the system, you can move better inside it. Let's start with the first big difference. Difference number 1, hierarchy versus equality. In many Nigerian workplaces, hierarchy is real and visible. Titles matter, seniority matters. Respect is often shown more openly. There is usually a clearer sense of who is above who makes the final decision, and how people are expected to carry themselves around authority. Guidance on Nigerian business culture commonly describes workplaces as hierarchical and notes that respect for senior professionals and formal titles is customary. In Dutch workplaces, that atmosphere can be very different. Dutch work culture guides describe workplaces as relatively flat. People often use first names, even with managers or senior leaders. Meetings are built around contribution, not just rank. Team members are expected to speak up, and the person with the title is not always the only one expected to think. Dutch corporate culture guidance also says everyone in meetings is expected to contribute because decision-making often aims for consensus. Now, this sounds nice when you hear it, but in real life, it can be destabilizing. Because if you are used to a culture where caution around authority is a sign of respect, then Dutch informality can feel strange. You may find yourself wondering, are they not afraid? Or you may become too quiet because you do not want to overstep. But here's the problem. In a flatter system, being too quiet can be misread. What you think is humility may be read as lack of confidence. What you think is respect may be read as passivity. What you think is let me not talk too much may be read as she has nothing to contribute. And that is where frustration begins. So if you are Nigerian in a Dutch workplace, one of the first adjustments you need to make is this. Respect still matters, but contribution matters too. You are often expected to think, speak, and show ownership, not just wait for instructions. Difference number 2, communication style. This is one of the biggest shocks for many Nigerians. Nigerians often communicate with more context, more pleasantries, more softening, more emotional awareness. Even when we want to say something difficult, we may wrap it carefully because we are trying to preserve the relationship, not just pass the information. Nigerian business culture guides often note the importance of pleasantries, contextual communication, and respectful tone. The Dutch are famous for something else: directness. Dutch workplace guides say opinions are often expressed openly, and feedback is usually straightforward with the goal of clarity rather than emotional cushioning. They also note that excessive small talk or over-politeness in business settings can be seen as inefficient. Now, let's make that practical. A Nigerian manager may say, "I think this is a good start, but maybe revisit the structure and strengthen the conclusion." A Dutch manager may say, "This isn't clear yet, fix the structure and rewrite the ending." Same message, different emotional temperature. If you do not understand the culture, the second one can feel rude. It can feel dismissive. It can even feel hostile. But very often, it is not personal. It is simply how clarity is expressed. The problem also goes the other way. A Nigerian employee may say, "I was thinking perhaps we could also maybe consider another route." And in a Dutch office, that may sound too indirect, too hesitant, too unclear. So while you are thinking, "I am being respectful," the other person may be thinking, "Please just say the point." That mismatch creates a lot of workplace tension. So what is the lesson? Do not confuse Dutch directness with automatic hostility. And do not assume your indirectness will automatically be understood as emotional intelligence. Sometimes the issue is not intention, it is translation. Difference number 3, time and punctuality. This one sounds simple, but it shapes everything. In many Nigerian settings, punctuality matters in theory, but there can also be more flexibility around time in practice. Meetings may start later than planned. Social context may soften rigid timing. People may still spend time greeting, settling in, or adjusting the flow before real work begins. Some Nigerian business culture guides describe punctuality as appreciated, but also emphasize flexibility and patience around timing. Dutch workplaces are much stricter here. Dutch work culture sources repeatedly state that being on time matters, that lateness is seen as disrespectful or unreliable, and that meetings are usually structured around an agenda and preparation. That means if a meeting is at 10 hours, people are expecting 10 hours, not 10:07, not 10:12, not I'm almost there. And it is not only about meetings, it affects deadlines, planning, calendar invites, preparation, follow-up. In Dutch work culture, time is not just a background detail, it is part of professionalism. This can be difficult for Nigerians not because we are careless, but because the emotional meaning of time is not always the same. In many African environments, relationships can sometimes take precedence over strict schedules. In the Dutch context, respecting the schedule is often seen as respecting the people. That is a mindset shift. It means if you are late, communicate. If there is an agenda, read it. If you have a deadline, do not assume flexibility unless it has been explicitly discussed. Small habits around time can heavily influence how competent and dependable people think you are. Difference number 4, work-life balance. This one is deeper than it sounds. In many Nigerian workplaces, the line between work life and personal life can be softer. People may build more personal familiarity with colleagues. There may be more room for informal relationship building, after-hours conversations, or social extension around work. Nigerian workplace culture can feel more socially layered. Research and commentary on Nigerian work-life practices also point to more pressure toward always-on work in some settings. Dutch work culture is different. Dutch guides consistently emphasize work-life balance, regular hours, leaving work on time, and protecting personal time. Long hours are not automatically admired, and personal life is often more clearly separated from work. This creates 2 possible misunderstandings for Nigerians. The first is this. You may assume that because people are not overly warm outside work, they are unfriendly. Not always. Sometimes they are just private. The second is this. You may overextend yourself at work, thinking constant availability proves commitment. But in many Dutch workplaces, that is not necessarily what earns respect. Clear work, reliability, structure, and healthy boundaries may matter more than performative overwork. And yes, even lunch can symbolize this difference. If you are used to a fuller, more social lunch culture, Dutch office lunch can feel underwhelming. Many people bring sandwiches from home and take a relatively short lunch break. It may seem like a small thing, but it reflects a broader workplace rhythm. Practical, efficient, and not always emotionally elaborate. So if Dutch work culture feels colder, sometimes what you are actually feeling is not rejection, it is boundary. Difference number 5, decision-making. In many Nigerian workplaces, decisions are often expected to come more clearly from the top. Senior leadership gives direction and others execute. That structure can feel efficient because people know who carries final authority. Guidance on Nigerian workplace culture often links hierarchy with top-down expectations and deference to senior positions. Dutch organizations often work differently. Dutch workplace and corporate culture guidance says meetings are used to exchange views before decisions are made, and consensus is a major part of the process. That means people are often expected to contribute before a direction is finalized. Now, if you are used to a more directive system, this can feel inefficient. You may think, well, why are we still discussing this? Why does everybody need to talk? Can someone not just decide? But from the Dutch point of view, consultation builds ownership. If people were part of the decision, they are more likely to support the outcome. This matters for Nigerians because you may sit in a room waiting for the boss to settle the issue, while the Dutch team is waiting for you to contribute your perspective before they move forward. Again, same room, different assumptions, and if you do not understand that, you may either withdraw too much or judge the process too quickly. So let's bring all of this together. The 5 big differences are these. Dutch workplaces are generally flatter in hierarchy. They are more direct in communication. They are stricter with time and punctuality. They protect work-life balance more strongly. And they often prefer more consultative decision-making. For many Nigerians, those differences can feel uncomfortable at first, but discomfort is not the same thing as impossibility. In fact, once you understand these patterns, a lot of what felt personal starts to look structural. You realize maybe they are not disrespecting you. They are being direct. Maybe they are not excluding you. They are being private. Maybe they are not unimpressed. They are waiting for you to speak. Maybe they are not rigid for fun. They are working inside a system that values planning. That awareness changes everything. It helps you adapt without becoming fake. It helps you communicate more clearly. It helps you take initiative at the right moments. It helps you stop misreading every cultural difference as a personal insult. And that is where thriving starts, not in pretending the differences do not exist, but in learning how to read them well. If you have worked in both cultures, then you already know this conversation is not theoretical. So tell me in the comments, which difference has hit you the most? Hierarchy, directness, punctuality, work-life balance, or decision-making? And if this video helped you, like, subscribe, and share it with someone else trying to find their feet in the Netherlands. Follow mynigeria.nl for practical relocation tips that make life in the Netherlands easier.